Today we'll be talking about a win-win situation here in Butler County. Throughout the last number of years, nonprofit organizations have had problems because of the economy. Their fundraising has been lessened, and because they need money to operate to serve their clients, they try to find other ways to do that. Well, the Blind Association of Butler and Armstrong counties have found a way to do it. It seems like almost an unlikely way, but we'll talk about that in just a moment. The Blind Association has come up with a program called Out-of-Sight Shredding. It's another organization, a business set up not only to raise money for the Blind Association to serve their clients, but also to give work opportunities, employment opportunities to their clients. Well, Jennifer Bindernagel is the executive director of the Blind Association of Butler and Armstrong counties, and they've come up with this program that's really interesting. And first of all, we have to ask, why in the world did you get into something that is seems dangerous, especially for people who are visually impaired or blind and have to work with these sharp instruments in this shredding process?
Good question. We looked at several different industries to get into, and we wanted something that visually impaired and blind individuals could participate in also. And traditionally, janitorial work or landscaping work could not be done by visually impaired or blind to the satisfaction of our customers. So we looked at something that they could participate in. In addition, all of the equipment produced locally is adapted specifically with safety standards in mind for all levels of abilities.
Let's start with one thing, the shredding process. Now, this is documents that are being shredded, documents from companies that are secure. They have vital company information, and they have to be shredded for security purposes. So you've got these machines, and then you have to find the companies that have to use these machines. How do you put the two together?
Right. Well, we have several different departments within the company: sales, marketing, and then the actual process manufacturing piece of the destroying of the documents. And we have to be competitive, just like our national competitors, to make sure that the quality of service that we're providing is top-notch security and value to our customers.
So your employees have to be screened somehow?
Extensively screened. 7-year criminal background checks, state, county, and federal, drug screenings, Social Security screenings, and not only that, but we add additional security features within the process also. So our trucks are GPS tracked. Our facilities are alarmed at all times. We have 24/7 video surveillance with 90-day backup for all of our customers. It's just, when we got into the business, we didn't realize the Fort Knox aspect of it. But we've gone above and beyond to meet all national standards.
Now, Jennifer, the people that we're dealing with here are visually impaired or blind. Many of them have maybe never worked before. How do you get those people up to speed? How do you get them, number one, to feel confident enough to work, especially in this process, and also feel that they can do the job?
Right. Well, we not only visually impaired and blind individuals, but other disabilities also, ranging from chronic diabetes to physical to traumatic brain injury to intellectual disabilities. And it's a nice myriad of capabilities that get the work done for us. These individuals were seeking a purpose anyways. And for me to get up every morning and have something to do and go to work, that's what they're looking for also. And we're just providing that opportunity and that work history and the opportunities to accomplish something every day.
Is there an extensive training program so they know how to do the specific job they're asked to do?
Absolutely. They get trained in every aspect of it, and they have opportunities to move up within the company also. So someone may start out just running a simple machine, shredding material, and then work into answering telephones, helping out with cold calling, marketing. We really look at each individual's abilities, strengths, and desires to make our company the best that it can be.
Jennifer, do you have to get past the confidence level? If some of these folks have never done anything like this before, some of them have never worked before. They have to get into a whole new environment. How do you build them up to a point where they know they can do this?
After the first day, we see a smile on individuals' faces, knowing that they accomplished what we asked them to do. And it's like every step that you take with anybody with a new job after your first day, and you know that you accomplished, and your boss was proud of you, and the work got done, the shop is clean. You just feel good, and you want to come back the next day and do it again.
There's an element we haven't talked about yet. These folks are being paid, aren't they?
Absolutely. We do hold a wage and hour certificate, which means that I can pay below minimum wage, but I'm very proud to say that every employee at Out of Sight Shredding makes at least minimum wage, most of the time above.
So they're taking home a paycheck maybe for the very first time. Now, do these people live alone? Do they live with family? What's their situation where they need money?
We have a diverse group of employees at Out of Sight Shredding, anywhere from individuals who are married to individuals living alone, to individuals still living with family and hoping to someday get their own apartment.
It would seem to me that an organization such as yours, going out knocking on doors, trying to get business, trying to get companies to give you their shredding business, have a lot of competition. Do you have some edges that maybe they don't have?
We do. Part of it is our security that's in process. We make sure that every aspect of the secure document destruction is taken very seriously. In addition, our prices are straightforward. There's no hidden fees. We provide a quality product, and we're employing people in our community who otherwise haven't had employment opportunities.
Isn't there another edge, Jennifer, where some companies are required to deal with organizations such as yours?
Yes, we do have legislation in place called Ability One, which makes it so that since we employ 75% of our workforce with individuals with different levels of disabilities, we are able to obtain federal and state contracts without competitively bidding.
When you say disabilities and then say abilities, it seems like the emphasis is on abilities more so than the other.
I like to think so. We look at capability, dependability, sustainability, the things that people can focus on and accomplish what they're doing.
Let's talk some more with some folks here at the Blind Association of Butler and Armstrong counties, and we'll be talking at the area where they have the shredding process and talk to some people involved with not only selling the service, but the ones actually doing the work, and that'll be coming up.
Your family, friends, and neighbors are featured on Armstrong local programming. Meet fascinating people, visit new places, enjoy special events. Armstrong has our community like no one else. Hometown favorites are available on demand with your Television Plus subscription, or find a complete program schedule at ArmstrongOneWire.com. Local programming exclusively from Armstrong. One Wire, infinite possibilities.
So this is the shredding center. This is the building where all the shredding takes place. And in fact, right behind us are pieces of the material after it's shredded. Now, some of these documents might have been very important and very secure, and companies didn't want anybody to see them. That's why they shred them. And Zach Burns, who's involved very much with this operation as the fund developer and public relations director. Zach, is this the way all of the shredding looks after the process is done?
This is pretty typical of what we do. We shred to a size of 5/16 of an inch strip cut, which is about half the size of the industry standard. So we're much more stringent than most shredding companies are as far as security goes. For certain projects, we offer an even smaller shred size. We can get down to a 5/16 by 5/16 inch square, which is almost, microscopic in my opinion. There's no way you can reconstruct a document that size.
So, but even in this size here, is there a possibility somebody could go through that bin behind us and reconstruct that to find out what the secrets are of a company or an organization?
It would be next to impossible. The work that would go into that would be beyond my comprehension. There's no way, because we intermix a lot of our documents from various businesses, so you're not just getting one piece of paper from one business all in one handful. You might have 50 or 60 different pieces of paper when you reach in there and grab, so you don't even know what you're trying to put back together. And as you can tell from the shot here, we have thousands and thousands of pounds that come through here every week. So the amount alone makes it difficult to reconstruct.
Zach, I can see what's going on here, and you were talking about different sizes and different cuts. Does the company decide what to do, or do you decide how to handle each of your customers' needs?
Whenever we start a contract with a company, the first thing we do to make sure they get the service they need is offer a free security assessment. So we'll go into a business, no matter what the size, whether they need one little console or 200 of them. We'll look at where they're going to place things, how high of a level of security they may need. If they're dealing with medical information, financial information, a lot of personal data, we're going to want to cut it as small as possible within their budget. And obviously, it does cost different amounts to get smaller shred sizes, but oftentimes it's well worth it to protect your customers' information.
Now, Zach, does every company shred? There's some companies just throw their papers away the way they used to years ago, put them in a bin and put them in the garbage.
Unfortunately, there are still a lot of companies, especially in the small business sector, that shred or that simply take their documents and throw them out with the trash. That typically is not what you're supposed to do. There's a lot more as far as regulations and laws go on the books today, especially if you're in the medical or the financial sectors, as to what you are supposed to destroy in a proper manner. Medical companies, obviously banks, have a lot of particular rules that apply to them, but also smaller businesses that may just handle us customers' social security information. All of that is required by law to be destroyed in a proper manner. You can't just throw it out in the trash.
Now let's talk about the people, because after all, this is a people organization. It's the Blind Association. You're working people who are entirely blind or visually impaired, and there have to be some safety precautions. Jennifer explained some of that earlier. It just seems when you're cutting something with sharp devices, sharp tools, that people who can't see very well or at all might be in danger.
That was certainly our biggest concern. When we had initially looked at getting into the industry, someone had said, try shredding. And we thought, well, our clients can't see. Surely this isn't something we can do. But we were able to special order a lot of our equipment to meet our needs, so that in order to get hurt on it, you would have to basically take the machine apart, which is a maintenance issue we leave to other individuals.
Do the people who work here for you, your clients, do every step of the process, or are there some sighted people who help them along the way?
We always have sighted supervision. Many of the shifts I actually supervise myself, since we are a pretty small business still. But many of our clients and employees can do the process from beginning to end themselves. The only piece of equipment in the entire facility that we don't let blind and visually impaired individuals operate is the forklift.
Now, somebody knows out there, we all know out there, that business just doesn't roll in the door. Somebody has to go out and knock on doors and persuade somebody that they should do business with you rather than somebody else. Are you that guy?
I am part of that guy. We do approach sales as a team effort. Both Jennifer and myself, along with several of our board members, help to solicit the sales and bring in the business that we've started to generate.
Why wouldn't every business you go to say okay?
Well, the biggest concern we run into is we're a nonprofit. A lot of businesses look at us and say, well, maybe you're just a small operation. Are you sure you're secure enough to handle our paper? And we have, over the past year since we first set up, taken a lot of steps to make sure that not only are we adequately secure, but we go above and beyond the most stringent national standards for security from the time you walk through the door to the time the paper leaves at the end of the day.
You, as a salesperson in this case, can say that. How do they know to believe that?
There's an organization for information destruction called NAID. They're the National Association for Information Destruction Companies. They will certify individual businesses to ensure that they meet a specific level of service and security. About 5 or 6 months ago, we passed our NAID AAA certification here at Out of Sight Shredding. Now that entails them sending in basically a private investigator with experience in the shredding industry. He combs through your paperwork, your facility, looks at the backlogs for all of your security cameras for at least 90 days, and makes sure that everything you have is at least up to par. And that investigation, not only did we become certified through it, but we met and exceeded most of their standards. Many of the security implementations we have go well above and beyond. For instance, we have infrared cameras. So if you were to turn all the lights out, we could still see your face right now.
Are there some people concerned that you're using people who can't see well or can't see at all? Are they concerned about that situation, dealing with a different kind of a company?
There is some concern about that. Our employees are some of the best that I have ever worked with at any company. And to be able to say that as a security service business is really important. We trust them implicitly. Not only do we do the background checks, we do drug tests, and of course all those things that go along with it. But these individuals really want to be here. This job matters to them. It's how they're getting ahead in life. They come every day with a smile on their face. They work harder than I could have ever dreamed of working. And to be able to say that about your employees is important.
Zach, I think we ought to meet some of those employees to find out just who they are, what their situation is physically, and just how they feel about working with these kind of instruments, and what it does for them, because now they have jobs that they're being paid for. Let's talk with them. One of the people who work here is Emily Markovich. She's from Slippery Rock, and she comes in pretty often. In fact, she volunteers also with the Blind Association. But let's first talk about what your disability is. What's wrong?
I have Williams syndrome. It's a disability with my heart. It causes me to, if it's something really big and heavy, I can't, lift it. My body's not strong enough to lift big, heavy things.
So it's nothing to do with your eyes. Your eyes are okay.
Yes, my eyes are fine.
Now, let's see. I'm a little confused here. This is the Blind Association, so therefore I would think that everybody has a problem with their eyes. How come you're involved here?
Because Jennifer, offered me a job, from, the Butler Blind Association to here, and then, I got a job offer, because I've been, I did shredding at the Blind Association, a little bit before I came here.
Do these machines bother you any? Because after all, they're cutting up paper, and there must be some sharp edges.
No, that doesn't bother me at all. I like doing it.
Now, the machine right behind us, this little machine, is the one you use?
Yes, this one right over here.
Now, what do you have to do?
I usually put one paper at a time, and then check it once in a while to see if it needs lift the box out and see if the paper is shredded enough.
Have you had other jobs before this one?
Yes, I worked at a horse farm, taking care of horses, and working at restaurants, and working at Joanne Fabrics, and working with children and stuff like that.
Do you figure that maybe you'll be working here for some time to come?
I think I'm gonna work here until I get older.
How much older?
Maybe 50 or 60. Maybe when I can pay to retire.
That sounds wonderful. It's good to talk to you. Thanks very much, and good luck to you. Sounds like you're a happy person, Emily Markovich. Now let's talk to some others. Melissa Murphy is another client here at the Blind Association Shredding Center, the out-of-sight shredding operation. Now, Melissa, you've been blind since birth, right?
Yes.
When you perceive that, for instance, I'm standing next to you, or there's some other people around us, what do you see in your mind's eye?
I never seen anything. Like I said, I've never seen colors or anything, so I really couldn't tell anybody what colors look like.
Well, how does that make you feel, not being able to see the way most people can?
I'm not bothered by it at all. I'm going to be very honest. I was born this way, and I figure if I'm able to see someday on Earth, that's wonderful, and if I'm not, I will see in heaven.
Isn't it difficult for a family to deal with a person who can't see?
No, I wouldn't really say it's difficult. I mean, there are things you have to take into consideration, doors have to be shut. They can't be ajar, or I will run into them, and things have to be put where I have them, where I can find them, because, I don't have sight. I can't just skim through things like people can, But it's not anything super difficult.
Now, you got this job here. Is this the first time you've had a paying job?
No, I used to work at a place called Community Health Connections there in Lindora, PA. I used to work there. It was one day a week, and I did document shredding there, and I answered the telephones, and now I am here at Out of Sight Shredding.
And you make good money here, don't you?
Yes.
What do you do with your money?
Oh, save it, and I spend some of it, but I like to save a lot of it.
Now, you've got a talent that you're using right now to use these machines. Are you concerned because you can't see that some of these machines might hurt you?
Not at all. Not at all.
When they explained how to work this, were you a little bit nervous about it first?
No. No, I wasn't nervous at all. Matter of fact, I'm going to share one of the things I did at Community Health Connections is I used one of those, I don't know what they're called there. It's a board. It's like a board, and you cut paper into little thin strips, and it has a little blade thing that you line the paper up, and then you push the blade straight down. I wasn't afraid of that either.
Good for you. You haven't worked an awful lot, I suppose, for many years. What did you do when you didn't work?
Well, I went to college. I got an associate's degree in office administration at Butler County Community College. I graduated in 2004.
Melissa, you sound like not only a courageous girl. Maybe that's not the right word to use, but maybe the better word is that you sound like a regular person.
Yes, I'm just a normal human being. You know, I believe that all I am is blind. There's no reason why I can't, get out there and show everybody that I'm just a normal person.
What are your biggest goals in life?
My biggest goals mainly is just to have a job and eventually have an apartment, just that's really, really the biggest goals I can think of. And I've achieved at least the job, and a couple other goals I had in the past. I wanted to learn self-defense, and I did that. So right now, my goals are pretty much achieved.
Melissa, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Melissa Murphy here at the Shredding Center, the Out-of-Sight Shredding Center. Paul Wolf of Butler is another client here at the Shredding Center. Now, the shredding machine is right behind us, Paul.
Correct.
You have a vision problem. Just how serious is that?
It is considered legally blind.
What can't you do?
I can't drive.
Can you see me all right?
Honestly, you're just basically like a figure with a blur.
All right, so you are legally blind, and yet this machine behind us has some very sharp razor-like cutters that shred the papers. Is that a danger to you?
Not really, because where the cutters are, you literally have to crawl into the machine to get to them.
What about the buttons? There are all kinds of stop and start buttons and different speeds. How do you manage those?
Mostly by memory. There is a safety button, which is just a one single button. If it does jam, you hit it, and it shuts everything down.
So there's no real danger of you hurting yourself?
No. Like it says, the only way is, like it says, if you'd actually reach in or almost crawl into the machine.
Let's talk about how the program works. You take paper that's unshredded and you put it where?
Actually, the machine has a conveyor belt that you drop the paper onto, and it'll pull it into the cutting head.
How long does it take to shred a bundle of paper?
Well, to give you a rough idea, I can do roughly between 400 and 500 pounds in an hour.
Is it always shredded to the same degree, the same size?
Unless you want to run it through 2 or 3 times on the machine.
So you see papers before they're shredded, and some of those papers are pretty secure. You have to be checked out pretty carefully, don't you?
Well, actually, honestly, I can't see what's on the papers. It's actually the perfect thing for anybody that would like this done, because it's not like I can read it and tell it to anybody else.
If you didn't work here, what would you do?
Right, just lately, I've just been on disability, just sitting at home.
Paul, good to talk.
Thank you much.
Paul Wolf here at the Shredding Center, and that's what he does. William Washington is from Pittsburgh, and he's up here as the person who drives this truck behind us. Now, you go out and pick up the raw paper before it's shredded from different businesses, different companies. Aren't they concerned that you'll be able to see what's on the documents that they want to have shredded?
Yes, they are, and that's why we have a secure, or whereas I have to go through all kinds of red tape, to have this job. You know what I mean? Because then you have to trust the person too, because who's to say?
So somebody has to certify that you're trustworthy, that you're cleared, that your background check is okay, and that the paper that you bring to this shredding center is secure.
Exactly.
Now, when you bring the papers here and the paper's all shredded, what happens to it next?
There's a company in Pittsburgh that they deal with. They sit in a big truck and they pick it up and get a little money for it, and then the money comes back. The money gets recycled too. It goes back into the business, into the blind association, to keep everything on the flow. And
So the shredded paper is sold to somebody, and that money comes back into the system here.
It's a cycle, right? And it's a good thing. Create jobs for, we're trying to stretch it out anyway, so it's going to create more jobs for other disabled people, you know what I'm saying? And pretty soon, hopefully, this company will be up and running and be strong.
All the people that work here are disabled in some way. Are you disabled?
Not disabled. I'm disabled as far as the government is concerned, but not like with my eyes or nothing like that there.
What's your physical problem?
I have my leg, my ankle. I have pins and plates in my ankle. That happened some years ago on another job.
Do you like this job?
I love it. I love the people. And I love helping. And you get to meet a lot of people today, that you can help, and that helps you.
We always hear about disabled. We put that label on people. You told me before we started talking on camera here that they're really not disabled, are they?
No, they don't like that. They don't want you to treat them like there's some kind of disease or anything like that. They want them to be treated like a human being, and that's how we treat them, and they love it. And you know what? It's funny. It's like we sit around, and we talk, and I'll say, "Did you see that program?" And they'll say, "Yeah, Bill," and I know they didn't see. They know they didn't see, but it's just the fun of it.
William, it's good to see such enthusiasm on your part, and also everybody that's working here seems to be involved with something they like to do. They're glad to do it, and it's always good to talk to you. Thanks very much.
And you're welcome, and thank you.
William Washington. He's the truck driver here at this wonderful facility that's doing so much for so many people and the community itself. So we're back with Jennifer Bendernagel here at the Blind Association, and we've talked about the out-of-sight shredding business, and that provides income for the Blind Association. Now, what do you do with the money, and what kind of services does the Blind Association offer?
Excellent question. The Blind Association provides services for individuals who are blind and visually impaired, ranging anywhere from free transportation to doctor's appointments, banking, shopping, to life skills group that helps teach individuals skills to remain independent, support groups anywhere from children to working age adults to older individuals who are losing their vision. We provide low vision aid resources such as canes, anything that talks we have here. We're looking at getting into accessible technology. We also work closely with the Lions groups to help provide individuals who are uninsured or underinsured obtain eye exams and eyeglasses, which are behind us here. It's a myriad of services that really accomplishes our goals to provide quality services that leave individuals to lead independent lives.
How many people do you serve? How many blind and visually impaired people are within your realm?
We serve 275 individuals within Butler County and close to 100 individuals in Armstrong County.
Jennifer, good to talk to you. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you.
The Blind Association of Butler and Armstrong counties. And you've heard about the out-of-sight shredding process, which is a fascinating operation, a new operation here, and the services of the Blind Association. I'm Larry Berg. We'll see you next time on Faces and Places.